On creating a double image symmetrical collage in Photoshop using some landscape images from film that I had scanned into the computer. So first thing I'm going to do is go to my images. You can see here I've selected them all and then I've dropped them into Photoshop. The best way to drop in multiple images is to select them all with a square like this and then click and drag them all and drop them right on those little arrows. And that'll put multiple images in Photoshop at once. So I've preloaded them, and now I'm going to go ahead and create a background. It's right here. When I did File New, I created a background that was 10 inches by 10 inches, and that was 300 resolution. So I did 10 inches by 10 inches, 300 resolution, and that's this right here. So now I'm ready to start collaging in my images. So I'm going to grab the first one, which is this, and I have it selected. I'm going to select, deselect, and I'm actually going to go back, Control D back. I want to show you what it looked like before I made adjustments. So this is what it looked like originally. So now I'm going to adjust the exposure. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast. First thing I'm going to do is just put the contrast up a little bit, maybe put the brightness down some, hit OK, but then I'm actually going to go back to Image, Adjustments, Exposure, and I'm going to take the offset and put it back down, add some of those darks back in there. See if gamma correction makes any visible difference. Maybe keep that one about there. And then exposure, go darker, maybe a little lighter. See some of those rocks pop back out. Down a little bit more with the offset. We'll leave it right there. So now we can see the image more. It's not so washed out from being overexposed a little bit, but we can rework it in Photoshop. So I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to say Select. Almost there. I'm going to go to Select All. I selected the whole thing, and I'm going to Edit, Copy. Then I'm going to come back to that background that I created, and I'm going to Edit, Paste. Now, because the resolution of the scan was way larger, it came in really big. So I'm going to Edit, Free Transform, and I'm going to shrink it back down so it fits back in. So you just grab the corner, keep pulling it down until it fits into half of that screen. I set it too soon, so I'm going to have to wait a second. Go back to Edit, Free Transform, and keep pulling it down until it fits in. Should take up roughly probably half of the square is what I'm thinking. So I'm going to do a reversal. I'm going to copy and then I'm going to reverse it. So I end up with two of the same images, but then I'm going to reverse them to create the symmetrical aspect. So I'm going to set it, and now I'm just going to make sure I can see my layers, which I don't see right now. So if you can't see your layers, you're just going to go to Window, Layers, and it should come back up. So now I have my background layer and I have my first layer with the first image. So I'm just going to make sure I'm in that first layer. Then I'm going to select all, Edit, Copy, and then Edit, Paste. Now I have two of the same picture. So now I'm going to flip this by going to Edit, Free Transform, hold Shift, grab one side, and then flip it over to the other side. Now, sometimes I'll take it and just kind of line it up and make sure it's the same width like this, so you know you're not skewing the image at all. Then I'm going to take it and match it up on the other side. Now I put it together. I think it was kind of doing a little bit of a cool thing here where it looks like my son's kind of looking at himself over this rock. I want to take out this middle part so it seems like we're kind of in or on the canyon, you know, the edge of the little waterfall where we were at Thatcher Park. So I'm going to set that. Then I'm going to come in with the selection tool and just get a nice clean delete on this edge. So I'm going to select it down. And let's see if I just hit delete. I deleted the one side. And if I come down to the other layer, move this over, then just delete that. Now I'm left with this. So now I'm going to go to Select, Deselect. Then I'm going to grab this one, pull it over, meet in the middle. So now I have this symmetrical aspect there. I don't need to do any clone stamping down here. I could do a little bit down here if I grab the clone stamp and I come over and I just hold Alt and then come over and just get those little parts out. But stuff like that doesn't really bother me too much, especially when you're working with negatives. It's like the images are a little bit more raw to begin with. Not raw format, but just raw looking in general, like a little more kind of old school, rough a little bit, maybe some graininess to the image. But here you can see I have my symmetrical aspect. Now these were actually two different negatives, but I just thought they kind of looked cool together. These were two different pictures. This was one picture and this was one picture, but I thought they looked nice together just the way they were on the negative. So I decided to make a collage from them. Now I'm actually going to crop it down some because the format that I want to create a little bit less, it's not going to be a total square, but I had a square to start. So if I go to crop, I'm going to pull this up a little bit, maybe to there. I'm going to pull this one over. I'm going to pull this one down a little bit. I kind of like how that lines up. That's up to you, how you line things up. But, you know, using the rule of thirds here and making sure things kind of line up on points and you're not setting things directly, you know, in the center. You're using those points to kind of line up some stuff or some subjects in the image, you know, keeping things along those lines usually help with your composition. So I'm going to hit crop. And there you go, hit fit screen. Nice little double picture symmetrical collage. Just made one picture out of actually two negatives and then copy and pasted them, flipped them, and now you have, you know, for what I think looks kind of like a little cool photographic collage image. So I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.